KNORadio.com.
Good, y'all. It's your boy Renz Jr. and we back again, episode 25. We're going to get right into it. I don't know who watched the BET Awards. I didn't watch it. I just heard a lot about it. Heard a lot of complaints about it, but it's a lot of the same things I've been feeling and I've been witnessing over the last few years. Feminism, I don't know, the promotion of female rappers and boss chicks and this whole stripper rapper culture. You know, I got daughters. I'm all for female empowerment. I'm all for females, you know, going ahead and taking the initiative to be successful. But we need balance. You know, equality is great. Yeah, it's all good. But I believe God created the man and the women to be checks and balances for each other. You know, to be able to yin and yang, you know what I'm saying? Like one person does this, the other person does that, and we fit together as a family. And I think that's why we were created, to build with each other and not be battling against each other, which it seems, you know, from my perspective is the way we're headed. A lot of broken homes, a lot of people are gonna be in individual, like separate households, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I see, you know, because nobody trusts each other and everybody wants to be the alpha in the household. But when it comes to music, man, it seems like they're promoting this. So it's a lot of role reversals in society right now, you know, the promotion of the same-sex community or whatever, you know, everybody can do what they want to do. I ain't got nothing against nobody. But I feel like we're going away from what it was when we had stronger households, stronger families. I wasn't around, but, you know, 50s and 60s, you know, you had more families staying together, 70s and 80s, you know, the crack epidemic, you know, the rise of crime. You can point to politics, certain policies that Democrats enforce. A lot of people are saying that right now, and a lot of blacks are going towards Trump. I'm staying out of it. I'm neutral, man. But what it is what I see. We're going down a path that is leading to the promotion of, like, I don't know how else to say it, but like minimizing the role of the man, minimizing the importance of the man. And you see it in hip hop. And you see it, you know, now we're in the social media era. You see it, women like IG models, they have the most following. You know, they have the most power. You know, brands are gonna go to where the following is. You know, that's where the money is. They want to sell their products. They want to sell their products to people with a big following. Who has the biggest following right now? A lot of it is IG models. We scrolling on Instagram and TikTok all day, you know, looking up and down at models and stuff. But why? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it for their talent? Or is it because a lot of men that's just what they do? They watch, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, it was magazines and stuff. Now they can go on Pornhub or they can go on IG. It's crazy, you know, like, but it's too much. It's too much, and I think I'm afraid for the youth, you know? Like, they got too much access to it, and nobody wants to work hard. Nobody wants to work at actually creating real relationships and meeting people the right way. So, you know, I'm just ranting and rambling and all over the place with this rant. But, you know, it's just what's on my mind because what I'm hearing about the BET Awards, and it's the same old thing, you know, they pushing stripper rappers, and there's not a lot of like real MCs being promoted anymore. It's not about that anymore. It's not about lyrics. It's not about the real culture. We in something that's way out of control when it comes to hip hop, and I believe it's a reflection of society and where we are with social media, and we got to get off of it, man. We got to stop being on the phone so much, especially the youth. Get out there, get into a sport or get into an activity and meet people, you know, that way, the old-fashioned way. You know, this is something it's a hindrance and it's holding people back from actually developing social skills. And when these big corporations promote that, they're just making it worse. You know, when they promote the idea of this rapper here has 1 million followers because she's fine and she got, you know, assets that people want to look at. Oh, by the way, she could rap. Okay, let's invest into her single. Let's put it on every radio station, you know what I'm saying? Because it costs money to get radio play. Let's create something that's hot, you know what I'm saying? Let's brainwash everybody with this toxic BS. And it's actually the stuff that's going to create more broken families and broken homes when you talking about boss chick this, stripper that, all about the money, basically prostitution on wax. You know what I'm saying? What that's going to do is give these young girls the idea that that's what they need to be doing, because that music is going to brainwash you eventually. You know, it's going to get to you. You see it from all angles. You see the cheers and the applause these people get. You know what I'm saying? They done forgot what the hell why do you even like this music? Because if somebody can actually rap and tell a story and actually empower you to make it out of your hood and make it out of situations that are negative, because that's what hip hop was originally for. Not to promote degeneracy to get you right back in the situation, which is going to create more broken homes and broken families. You know what I'm saying? More promiscuity. You know, and that's the issue. That's the issue I have with the direction of hip hop is going and society is going with social media, because I believe that's a huge thing that's holding everybody back. Being on your phones all day, and you know, I'm a father, so I look at my daughters, you know what I'm saying, and I see the change ever since they got phones. We are in a society that is based on instant gratification, like instantaneously. I mean, when you're on your app, your Instagram or your TikTok, you scrolling past what you don't want to see. If it doesn't satisfy you within the first 5 to 10 seconds, you go on to the next. Dating app, same thing. Scroll, Tinders, keep scrolling. You know, do you actually meet this person and talk to them and create, or do you talk to them on the phone and create a real connection? You know, that's why where we are in society, you don't have a lot of real connections. You don't have a lot of real friends. You don't have relationships that last very long. And I believe that that's kind of the same thing in the music that we're listening to, the media that we consume. Everything is based on instant gratification. There's no, like, albums don't really have a story to it, or songs don't have a theme. Albums don't have a theme. Songs don't have a story. The skill level, the artists ain't even they're not even writing their own lyrics, man. Now that right there is a definition of fake and not a real MC, not real hip hop. You know, when are we gonna wake up and stop accepting this type of trash as fans and as artists? Why haven't we created our own, like, label with all the millionaires and billionaires by now? You know what I'm saying? That are in control of their own music. I know it's the top 5%, whatever. There's, you know, you could say Jay-Z or you know, maybe Dr. Dre, people like that. Why haven't we come together and just make one label that could actually eliminate all the trash and promote positivity or talent? You know what I'm saying? To keep the culture from going to go in the right direction, and instead of spiraling out of control and in the hands of the wrong people that are just monetizing it for their well-being and for the detriment of the actual community that it comes from. Because it's like you put liquor stores, you put drugs, you put guns in those communities constantly. What happens? You know, niggas going to jail, they're getting killed. They promote the death music, you know what I'm saying? They're putting money in the hands of people that are making those type of songs against the opposition. You know what I'm saying? And they promote it and it gets hot, and the algorithm picks it up on YouTube and you know, social media, and that's what gets highlighted. But what is it leading to? More murders, you know? So what I'm saying is this music been weaponized, man. So I don't even watch BET anymore. I haven't bought any new music in a long time. I barely stream. I just stay on my square, you know, creating and do what I do. in my own world and take care of my family, man. Of course, yeah, I'm still gonna be a fan of people I grew up listening to, but I don't really see a lot of that style of music coming up or being out there, man. I don't know what it is, but like I say, we in a microwave society, instant gratification all across the board, and that includes dating with women. And that's why I titled this "Social Media Toxicity Destroyed Love and Hip Hop." So it's both, you know, and it's all areas of society, but you know, people don't. The music industry invests more into music that promotes degeneracy, promiscuity, while it has divested in music like R&B, which focus more on love and togetherness. You know, I don't want to sound corny or sound like like I'm preaching, but I'm just telling you what it is, man. Like that's the truth. And you know, and coming from me, you know, I came from a broken home. I was out in the streets. You call it what you want to. I had multiple situations where I was getting money from. I wasn't trying to be married or be any type of saint, you know, because I didn't see that. You know, I come from a situation where there was a lot of that was going on in the world I was in, basically. So that the music reflects the environment that you came up in. But now that I'm older and I got kids, I don't want the same thing for them. I want better. And I just noticed that the labels are investing in the trash that is keeping, you know, people getting going into prostitution and having broken homes and you know, multiple baby daddies and being a exotic dancer. And I ain't got nothing against some people that are trying to make a living, you know what I'm saying? But I believe that as a father, I wouldn't want my daughters to go down that route. And I'm trying to make sure they get an education and make sure, you know, they have a good career path. And, you know, I'm there to save them when they fall, you know. I feel like all this temptation out there in the world is trying to pull them towards the negativity. And I see it in this generation. They don't see it because I don't know. They just want to be cool. They just want to turn up. Or they just want to get out there and do what feels good. But I know what's coming on the back end. And I believe that these companies, this media, social media is drawing them towards that. And I feel like it's by design. Tricks that we stuck in, man. And we got to break out of it. I don't know if we can get off of social media. You know, the problem is for me is that's my business, man. Like, I gotta be on there. I got products that I'm trying to sell. I can reach the most people on social media, man. But you know, like I say, I'm in it with y'all. I don't have all the answers, but I do know one thing that will work. That works for me is just to get off of the apps for a while, get out in the real world, and you know, connect with like-minded people, build with like-minded people, form your own communities that ain't based on income requirements or based on how popular you are, social media following and all of that. Stop following trends, stop following other people, you know, based on those things, you know, because, you know, in the music industry, that's what's going on. That's why it's become so toxic. It's become so talentless. Because it's just on to the next. It's one trend is buzzing, labels invest in it, then they're on to the next. And that person that they were investing in, when they flop, they get thrown out with the garbage. And it's like, you know, they don't matter because they made their money or they lost money and they're on to the next. But while they did that, they also contributed to the destruction of a generation, because a lot of the people, what they're investing in, you know, what I'm seeing is the toxicity, you know, the images of black women as strippers, prostitutes, and promiscuous, you know what I'm saying, and men the minorities, the black men, we gangsters. We out here, we killing each other against each other, and they invest in that. You know what I'm saying? So if you take time to really analyze that and get off the phones, get off of the media, and really get out in the world and see what's really going on, you'll start to see it and you'll figure it out, and you'll want to disassociate yourself with that environment. And that's all I'm here to do on this episode here, just kind of wake people up and disattach myself from the matrix, and try to figure out, as an artist, how do you continue to be relevant and get fans to like and listen to your stuff when you go against the grain. And that's a true challenge, because you want to be recognized for your talent, and you don't want to copycat and be like everybody else. That's what the true meaning of, to me, is being real, sticking to your principles, and rapping about your real life, or what you've been through and what your environment consists of.
So on this episode, man, I'm just talking about how social media in today's world is pretty much is toxic and it's trash, and it reflects in everything. And of course, I'm in the hip hop industry, music game, and all that, so I see its effects on the kind of music that they promote is based on followings and who has the most followings on social media, on TikTok and IG. Girls, strippers, models, IG models, you know what I'm saying? And so then they happen to try to say, well, let's monetize that following and make them into artists. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now we have the era of stripper rappers with people like, and I ain't got nothing against them, to each his own. I ain't knocking nobody's hustle, but it's like, it's the same subject matter. You feel me? Like,
yeah,
Ice Spice to Sexy Red. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It was. You had Lauryn Hill, you had MC Lyte, you had Queen
Latifah, mm-hmm.
And they all had that style. And it wasn't about twerking and shaking ass, you know what I'm saying? And us having daughters, that shit is like, man, that makes me work, if they seeing that, and it's a good thing that they don't have Rap City and Yo MTV Raps anymore, because I don't even know where to find that type of shit anymore. I guess people just go to YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube, some of their reels on whatever the platform is. A lot of the issues that we're seeing is girls in particular that are from the ages of, I'd say from 10 all the way up until 17 are looking up to the Nicki Minaj's, are looking up to the Megan Thee Stallions, are looking up to the Cardi B's.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically speaking, outside of maybe Nicki Minaj, who I see having a little bit of talent, if those females weren't displaying themselves and exposing their goods, so to speak, would they even have a following? And so it goes back to what you say, where it's like strippers and entertainers in terms of the nightlife are turning and leveraging that popularity into being or claiming to be an artist. And none of that is true art in terms of music or being a musician. Their art is more in terms of dance, so they should stick to that. Most of the talent that I've seen, it's appealing to a certain audience. But what we're noticing is a lot of the people they're becoming less open-minded, more closed-minded, so it's easier for them to be persuaded. It's easier for them to be under a trance. It's easier for them to be, ride the bandwagon of popularity because they're trying to hang on to something that they feel is a trend. And now, from 2020, and really since the pandemic and after that, trends are running everything in almost every industry. There's no authenticity. So you got an artist like yourself, for example, who can put together a story, who can put together quality lyrics, and a lot of people aren't giving it the time or effort is due because either they're not seeing a following so they can just be the follower of it, or they're not understanding it. In a lot of cases, it's too advanced for a lot of the younger generation.
Hey, man, you said it. And like the MCs that are left, they probably are going over the heads of the current audience, man. It's too advanced. And they don't want to even take the time to dissect it and analyze it. And I don't think it's just hip hop. It's like even like R&B too, man. Like it's gone almost because people don't want to feel things anymore. As far as the emotions of music, they don't want to like sit down and actually listen and let it grow on you and get into the melody. They just want something real quick, like 3-word chorus that they can say and repeat over and over again. It's like a quick slap and then it's on to the next. Like the brains of these people these days is not, it's like they de-evolutionized. They went backwards. They're not as smart as they was, when we was coming up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see people like Lil Jon, man. Like, a lot of this can go on his shoulders. No offense to Lil Jon. He's probably a pretty solid producer. But he's not rapping. That's chant music. And the chant music, a 5-year-old can memorize the song, and 1 or 2 times it's played, and next thing you know, you have a million nincompoops that are able to memorize easy-ass songs. And just because they got a nice beat and it's catchy, and you're going to hear it in the club, then it becomes popular. Then people like that start winning. And it takes money out of the mouths of the true artists.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but and now a lot of the rise of those first artists that we mentioned is also heightening the passion behind feminism.
Ooh, you said it. Right.
Which is, that's not really doing anybody any favors in our country.
And what is it?
Especially in a black community. Like,
right.
A lot of brothers already take a lot of heat, man, from females, no matter what color the girl is. But in particular, black chicks are going to be hard on brothers. So you have these artists that are coming up and paving way for themselves. They don't have any respect for any of the male artists before them. They probably don't even know of. In a lot of respects, that karma was going to come back to bite you, but now it's not really happening. They're getting away with it because, like you were saying, they're monetizing the followings and the numbers and the likes and leveraging that into making the money they need.
And at the same time, they're kind of destroying the generation of potential husbands and wives that are never going to be, because it's trendy to be a boss chick with like 10 dudes. They reverse the roles. They're the masculine now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like the word hoe. The word hoe is kind of becoming watered down. Like it's almost obsolete. Where females are trying to get the notches under their belt.
Yeah, and that's why brother is going overseas. Or you could be like a true dog, like a super alpha king. I could feel like that at some times, but sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? Like, well, you can get, well, fuck it. They're gonna go to the top dog, and you're gonna be that dude forever. But you can't, man. Like at some point, you're gonna grow out of that. And I accept that. I'm a father. I'm not gonna be like that forever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? At one point, if it's the right one, then I would settle. But this world the way it is, you can't trust nobody, man. You can't trust nobody.
Hmm.
They're on Tinder, they're on IG, they're a DM away from being, what I'm saying, on to the next. And and I came up listening to a lot of Too Short, man, and now you see a lot of that is what he was saying. Like it sounded negative then, we liked it then, but now you kind of see it. The reason why, because these females been dogging people forever, man. Like in our community, and I don't know if it's by design or something that been pushed through the media to be promiscuous and to not have multiple dudes, multiple baby daddies or whatever, and just be a boss chick player. Like I guess in the '70s, the pimp game was real strong. And
Hmm.
now it's kind of in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's just the way it's went, the way it is. But it ain't right, man. It ain't right, and ultimately it's gonna have a negative effect on the youth going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Uh,
Things kind of contribute to that, where you have systems that are designed for especially the black father, but most fathers cannot be in their kid's life enough. There's too many of us that have to pay child support, that have to deal with the baby drama, baby mama drama, that don't get the amount of time with their kids that they feel they deserve.
mm,
And so that's kind of giving more leeway to a lot of men who may grow up kind of retreating or waving the white flag.
just be out.
Hmm. And then that leverage is giving a lot of the mothers and the women the confidence and the strength and the power to feel like, hey, we don't need a man. What? And unfortunately, they're wrong.
Right.
Every kid needs a father, period. And most black males can attest to that, because a lot of us have grown up without one. And it's not easy, man. Like we're able to persevere regardless, because a lot of us have that we're not going to tap out mentality. And if you played a sport, then that was your avenue to get the discipline and get checked and kind of hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
That is, if you took the sport serious enough and you didn't have the pops in the house. But now, a lot of kids is lazy, man. They're not going to play the sport. They feel entitled. And the second somebody challenges these kids, they're ready to quit. And quitting has become acceptable.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that don't quit, though, are the females. Females work harder in school. Females have the chip on their shoulder. Females feel they got something to prove. So when you have a lot of guys that are growing up retreating and kind of grown to be softer, where the female has no choice but to be hard, has no choice but to persevere, has no choice but to overcome. And next thing you know, you got a whole generation of females feeling they're running things, and of males that are retreating or waving a white flag.
But you gotta wonder, like with what you see in the media, with the laws and with the incentivizing mothers to get the man out of the household with welfare and Planned Parenthood and all of those things. Was it by design?
Yes.
Yeah, is it by design to break up the family, and is that what they're marketing to, our youth through the music? BET Awards, I've just been seeing a whole lot of negative responses about the BET Awards, and I ain't been watching BET for years, man, because
Right.
and I can tell by the videos I've submitted, the ones that had like a positive message or they weren't super ratchet, they totally declined, man. And the ones that I was on my more like, I don't know how you can, whatever you want to call it, some pimp type shit or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't want to play that CK7 song. I was on some militant shit. Talk about the whole thing that was going on at the time. With Kaepernick and the kneeling and the
Hmm.
just the police brutality and all that. They didn't want to play it, but they'll play something that's more geared towards the degeneracy and negativity. I will say, even though I always have a message in every song to try to give some kind of positive spin on it.
Hmm.
But I just think like it's kind of by design in every media outlet, and the algorithm is pushing that negativity towards uh, our community and a lot towards the men to where they are feeling less important and downplayed and unimportant as far as like just being that leader of the household.
Hmm.
Uh, it's more geared towards going at each other for whatever reason that is. It's the music that they're promoting is getting brothers killed out there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
all divisive shit. They're not gonna promote some shit that's trying to enlighten you and bring people together. That shit going out the window. So
Do you remember that old school song, Self Destruction?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When they put all the rappers together?
Hmm.
I think something like that needs to happen again.
Yeah.
And nobody who's, no offense, but if you're somebody who's who's a local on KMEL or one of these local artists, no, you should have had to been in the game for X amount of time, paid your dues, and it's time to give them some recognition, and they can have some kind of message behind it. It was it was back, in the Biggie Tupac era, where those cats can come out with something extremely controversial, and for whatever reason, it was lightning in a bottle, and it would sell, and it would go viral, but even then have viral then, but it would be the most popular thing out there. And now, I mean, you saw what happened to them ultimately. They're both gone. So is that the end game for the real MC?
Uh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
That's a question that I don't know the answer to, but it definitely seems as if that's a trend.
It definitely, for me, if you're powerful enough to be like looked at as a messiah, like somebody that can bring people together and cause like a whole revolution, they're gonna
Yeah.
find a way to get you out of there, man. And I think
Yep.
Pac and Big both had those powers. Uh, Nipsey Hussle, people like that that could organize and motivate and had a whole movement behind them. Uh, like
Nipsey Hussle's another one, huh?
I'm saying, that kind of scares the powers that be. You know what I mean? Like they might have something to do with trying to neutralize those type of people. That's
Well,
why I gotta be careful, man. I got to, I don't know. I'll be watching how deep I get in certain songs and how I move. Others don't give a fuck. They got no filter and they just go all out. You know what I'm saying? I'll salute whoever, just do you, be yourself, man. But sometimes you got to calculate and think down the road, plan it out and be strategic on how you can just last, be around for your kids.
hmm the surge and the need to be satisfied instantly with that dopamine satisfaction and instant gratification and all that is a part of that. And now there's nobody playing the long game, or they're not producing songs thinking about 10 years down the road like those cats used to do that we mentioned.
Mhm.
Everything's about right now. And I think it's a situation we're at now where, the cell phone and the ease of your things coming to your palm of your hand is starting to do a disservice to the industry, but also to the individuals within it. Like, they are people. They do have families, they do have kids, and they aren't all pieces of crap, even regardless what the government might think. They deserve to put out the art that they're capable of putting out. And I don't think there's a lot of space for those people to do that anymore. If you're not selling out, then you're not going to be put out there. Nobody's going to know.
But that's it for episode 25. Make sure y'all support the brand, eastbaykings.com. And I appreciate it if you support what I got going on. Cop some of the new gear up in the shop. Again, I just dropped a video also. I appreciate y'all go stream that. And, you know what I'm saying, keep streaming that album, From a Peasant to a King. And yeah, I'm going to see y'all next time here on Ren's 510 Radio and the East Bay Kings podcast. Holla at y'all.